All right, today we are jumping into one of the most incredible medical discoveries of our time. Seriously, this is a top-tier scientific detective story that solved a puzzle that had stumped scientists for more than 100 years. And yeah, it absolutely won a Nobel Prize.
So think about it for a second. Your immune system is this ridiculously powerful army inside your body, right? Its whole job is to seek and destroy anything that isn't you. So what's stopping it from just turning on you? Why aren't we all just walking bags of autoimmune disease?
The answer, as it turns out, is the whole reason we're here today. But this wasn't some single eureka moment. No, this was a slow burn detective story, with clues being uncovered years apart by totally different teams. So let's follow those clues and piece together one of modern medicine's greatest puzzles.
Okay, our story really kicks off with the first big clue. And it was found by a brilliant scientist named Shimon Sakaguchi. He was about to completely upend a core belief in immunology. You see, for decades, everyone just kind of accepted this idea called central tolerance. The thinking went like this. Your thymus gland was like a boot camp for your immune cells. Any rogue cells that might attack your own body were just deleted. Simple. But Sakaguchi, he had this nagging feeling there had to be more to it. He proposed something totally new. What if there's an active police force out there, patrolling the body 24/7, keeping the peace?
And you know what? He was right. He found them. A special kind of immune cell he named regulatory T cells, or Tregs for short. His term for them was security guards, and honestly, that's the perfect way to think about them. They aren't just sitting on the sidelines. They are actively patrolling and telling other, more aggressive immune cells, hey, stand down, that's one of us.
The experiment he designed to prove this was just beautiful. So he starts with mice that have no immune system at all. Then he gives them a batch of immune cells that are missing just this one type of guard cell. And what happens? Bam! The mice get hit with terrible autoimmune diseases. But, and this is the genius part, he then adds only the guard cells back into those sick mice. And just like that, the diseases stopped, or even started to reverse. It was absolute, undeniable proof these Tregs were the body's essential peacekeepers.
So, Sakaguchi had found the security guards. Huge! But he didn't know how they were made or who was giving them their orders. The next piece of the puzzle would come from a totally different lab, looking at a very strange and very sick little mouse.
For a long time, scientists knew about this particular strain of mice they called scurfy, and they were a real tragedy. The male mice would be born, and within just a few weeks, their immune systems would go completely haywire in a massive, uncontrolled attack on their own bodies. They never survived, but nobody knew why.
While two researchers, Mary Brunko and Fred Ramsdell, decided they were going to find the reason. They went on this massive genetic hunt, sifting through over 170 million base pairs of DNA, and they found it. The culprit was a single mutation in one little gene. They gave it the name FOXP3.
So what is FOXP3? It's what's called a master regulator. The best way to think about it is it's not a gene that builds a single part, like a wheel. It's the factory foreman who walks around the factory floor telling all the other machines when to turn on and when to turn off. The problem was, when they found it, nobody had a clue what this particular foreman's job was. It was a total mystery.
And right here, the story takes a sharp and frankly tragic turn. The researchers realized that the human version of this exact same gene, when it was broken, it caused a horrific and rare disease in young children. Suddenly, the stakes of this whole mystery got a lot higher.
The disease is called IPEX syndrome. And just like those poor scurfy mice, children born with a broken FOX3 gene suffer a full-body immune assault. The symptoms are just awful. Their bodies attack their guts, their skin, their pancreas, leading to things like type 1 diabetes. And without intense treatment, the disease was often fatal by the age of 2 or 3. This was not just a mouse problem anymore.
So, let's pause. We have two completely separate storylines, right? In one corner, we have Sakaguchi and his cellular security guards. And in the other, we have Brunko and Ramsdell's mysterious master regulator gene. This is the moment where the two stories finally smash into each other.
Just look at how the timeline lays out. 1995, Sakaguchi finds the Tregs. Then, 6 years go by. In 2001, the FOXP3 gene is found, but its job is a mystery. And then, in 2003, it's Sakaguchi himself who delivers the final unifying blow. He proved the FOXP3 gene was the master switch that builds and operates his Treg cells. And just like that, the puzzle was solved.
They were never two different mysteries at all. The scurvy mice, the children with eye picks, they were all sick for the exact same reason. Their broken FOXP3 gene meant they couldn't build any Treg security guards. The police force was never even hired, and their immune systems just went wild.
So here's how the whole beautiful system works. It all starts with the FOXP3 gene. That's the blueprint. The protein it makes is the factory manager. That manager builds and programs the regulatory T cell, our security guard, and that guard goes out and patrols the body, keeping the peace and keeping us healthy. It's just an incredibly elegant system.
Now look, solving a huge biological puzzle like this is amazing on its own. But the real payoff, the reason this is so important, is how it has totally transformed how we can treat some of the worst diseases out there.
What this discovery gave us was a brand new control dial for the immune system. Think about cancer. We now know tumors are sneaky. They actually recruit triage to be their personal bodyguards. So what's the solution? We develop drugs to block the Tregs, which lets our immune system see and attack the cancer. For autoimmune diseases like MS or arthritis, it's the opposite problem, not enough Tregs. So we're finding ways to boost them. And for organ transplants, we can ramp up the Tregs to tell the immune system, hey, this new kidney is a friend, leave it alone.
At the end of the day, these Nobel laureates didn't just find a new cell. They uncovered a whole new rule of biology, that our bodies don't stay safe by accident. It's not a passive system. It's an active, ongoing police patrol that keeps everything in order.
And hey, you don't have to take my word for how big a deal this is. The Nobel Committee itself said their discoveries were decisive. They literally changed the textbook on how our bodies protect us from ourselves.
This whole medical revolution, it all started from just looking closely at some sick mice and a very rare disease in children. It really makes you wonder, right? What other unbelievable secrets, what other game-changing therapies are just hiding in our own biology, waiting for the right detective to connect the dots?